All right. So the next question reads, which pair of complex numbers has a real number product? So in the first question, I described what a complex number is, right? So a complex number has a real component and an imaginary component. Okay. Another thing to cover before we even begin to tackle each of these options is that we know that I is equal to root of -1. So therefore, I squared is going to be equal to root of -1 squared, which is equal to -1. Okay, so this is going to be a very important fact as we try to tackle this question. So this question is asking us that to multiply each of these terms together and see which one only has a real number component. Okay, so we're going to do that for each of them, okay? So first of all, let's do it for A. So for A, we have 1 plus 3i times 6i. So that would equal, if we expand 6i, because 6i times 1 is 6i, plus 18i squared, right? And we know that I squared is equal to -1, so we get 16 negative 18. So we get another complex number. So this has an imaginary and a real component. So this is not the solution we're looking for. All right, let's look at B. Okay, so B is going to be 1 plus 3i times 2 minus 3i. Okay, so we're going to use cross multiplication, or we're going to use FOIL to expand this. So it's going to be 2 minus 3i plus 6i minus 9i squared. And if we simplify this, we get 2 plus 3i plus 9. Because I squared is -1, so negative, negative, positive. So if we simplify, we get 11 plus 3i, which is not a solution again. Okay, let's look at C. So C is going to be 1 plus 3i times 1 minus 3i. Okay, so if we expand, we get 1 plus 3i minus 3i minus 9i squared. Okay, so if we were to simplify, we have this imaginary component to be canceled, and we're left with 1 minus 9i squared, and I squared is -1, right? So negative, negative is positive, so 1 plus 9, and that equals 10. All right, let's check the last option here. So our last option is 1 plus 3i times 3i. Okay, so this is going to be 3i times 9i squared. Okay, so I squared is negative, so we get 3i minus 9. All right, so now looking at all our options, we can see here that C is the correct option because it gives us the real number component only. And this brings us to our final, I guess, discovery from this question. So when you're having imaginary, I guess, when you have complex numbers together or multiply together, when you multiply a complex number with its conjugate, you'll get a real number component. So in other words, our discovery here, our observation, is that when you have a complex number such as a plus bi, right? So this is a complex number, imaginary and real component here, and you multiply it by its conjugate. So a conjugate is basically has the same magnitude, but the signs are switched. So a minus bi instead. You'll get a squared plus b squared, which is just a real number, right? So this is a very important lesson, and we'll be applying this in our future questions, okay? So other than that, we have found our answer, which is C, and the junior tutor also found the answer, which is C, so this solution is correct. Good stuff. Cool. All right, let's move on to question number 5.